Good afternoon, Capra here with your daily recap for this Friday, July 7th. Hope you guys had a great trading day. Hope you had a great trading week as the volatility has been back. And following the NFP report early this morning, it did beat expectations, which generated a gap up here in the market and strength throughout the day. You can see the chart of the S&P here after closing below the 50-day was able to reclaim it on the gap, dipped below it a little bit there before then coming back up, reclaiming and closing above it. It also was able to close right up into that 8 EMA and right up under the 21. So we're back to flirting with the 8 and the 21 day here after we've now had another successful hold of this 50 day. So we'll see how things play out. You know, it's just been this back and forth environment, but while we are holding here for the time being, we do still have a series of lower highs that have been getting put in here. So if we're really going to start talking about the market holding and pushing higher, we're going to need to see at least this this prior high overcome, right? We don't want to continue to see, at least not if you're bullish on the market, we don't want to continue seeing a series of lower highs. So while it is good to see it holding here from a bullish standpoint, you're going to need to, as I said, see this prior high overcome to really start gaining a little more confidence. If that doesn't happen, then this could be just, you know, one day in a series of lower highs that continues to take us to lower levels. So we'll see how things play out, but the Qs were strong once again here. They're still below all of those moving averages, but trying to get back up above them. Seeing the strength in the Qs here today is again a little bit of a welcome sign, especially knowing that it's been the weakest. We'll see if that can follow through and reclaim those moving averages here next week. And then also the Russell small caps, which came under some pressure yesterday, were able to flex some muscle, closing up just under 1% on the day, but up near the highs of the session. And overall, this is still within the context of this sideways range here, as you can see, but it is looking like it may want to push back to those prior highs. So, I mean, the bottom line is, yes, the NFP number came out. It beat expectations. We got a positive jump based on that, but all in all, we're still just sideways within a lot of these ranges. Not much has changed based on looking at the bigger picture here. As far as some individual sectors, you had the semiconductors, which were strong. You know, tech was strong, semiconductors were strong. They were able to get back up above some key moving averages, so we'll see if they get a little bit more of a bounce. We also had IBB, which was able to close up a little bit, but still, you know, just holding within this recent range, but may now be getting ready to break over, you know, this this little descending trend line here. So definitely keep an eye on these recent highs, and if we can push above this area here, really, you know, call it the 315 area, if we can get above that, we should start to see some more momentum coming into IBB. On the weaker side, you know, well, before we get there, financials, you know, they also held up as they've been, and really they've been consolidating in this upper area as the 8MA is playing catch up here. So financials may be getting ready to break out here next week, and if that happens, it's only going to help the S&P to push higher. Names like JP Morgan holding up well. Goldman, you know, isn't as strong as JPM, but still holding here, and if it can get over these recent highs, that'll start to breathe new life into it. Citigroup continues to show strength. So, you know, again, while we do have some divergences within the sector, the majority of them are strong. You can see Wells Fargo here also holding up well, and now that it came down, kissed that 8MA and popped back up, it too may be getting ready for a move higher. So we'll definitely want to keep an eye on these financials moving into next week. As far as names under pressure or sectors under pressure, energy was once again under pressure here as it broke below this prior low, although it did come back up above it there, closed above it, which is not uncommon to see, you know, having gone from the top of this range back down through the bottom. That is a greater than 100% retracement, which increases the odds of some type of reaction. Not to suggest that this is now going to rip higher, but a little pause here isn't unexpected. So we'll see if it doesn't pause here briefly before continuing lower. And then, of course, energy was down. Oil was also down for another day here following the weakness over the last couple days. So this lost some additional ground. It's now into around the 50% retracement, so we'll see if it doesn't try and hold here more sustainably going forward into next week. You know, buyers are going to step up based on that retracement level, but given the fact that the overall trend is down, I don't necessarily see that this is going to hold well, right? Maybe a little pause before then getting a measured move back towards the prior low around 875. So we'll keep an eye on that. And then also taking a quick look at gold, it broke down under that support level we discussed in the morning call, and now this opens the door to additional follow through towards the 114 level, and from there possibly even lower. If we take a quick look at the weekly, you can see that, you know, this 114 level isn't all that significant. Over the course of this second half of the year, we may see gold coming down towards the 107.50 area. So definitely keep an eye on that, because now you've got this double top, right, that is in place, and we've now poked below that neckline. So 107.50-ish is the next targeted area here for gold. We'll see if we can, as I said, over the course of the second half of the year, get there. But as I said at the top of this video, hope you guys had a great trading week. Hope you guys have an even better weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.